Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Wednesday the 7th of February 2018. Let's have a look at what's making the political news today. So to start off with, it is Brexit pretty much all the way through the political headlines today. Let's start off with what's come through in a leaked briefing paper from Brussels. This is a big splash on the Times front page today, but also in many other papers. Brexit, Brussels sanctions. Now, according to this leaked briefing paper from Brussels, the EU and EU nations will submit powers allowing the EU to ground flights, suspend single market access and impose trade tariffs on the UK in the event that the UK does not play ball in the transition period on what it's agreed it will follow and not follow, specifically to do with trade, whether the UK is seen to be pursuing trade talks with other nations, which of course it would not be allowed to do under the EU view of keeping the status quo arrangement with the UK. However, this is heavily caveated because Politico's got a report or a quote today from an official from Brussels saying the mechanism has not been identified yet, but it will be part of our internal discussion, but it also will be discussed with London. We cannot impose it on the UK. So maybe a little bit of a headline with not much to it, but we'll find out, I suppose, in the next few days as the negotiations continue. Next up, well, Theresa May, the Prime Minister back home, will be convening her War Cabinet Brexit Committee of several Remain and Leave senior Cabinet Ministers, hoping to thrash out these real problems about disputes on the customs union, single market access, so the UK can put their position clearly to the EU and get these further discussions moving forward. However, it's been reported today that no real big decisions are going to be made in these two big cabinet meetings today and tomorrow. These are all just early talks, basically, between cabinet ministers, hoping to resolve the customs union debate by the end of this month. This is important because the EU is now putting a lot more pressure on the UK to come up with their position and their solution, particularly in terms of Brexit, but also in terms of the Irish border. This has come up again on the agenda. Ireland wants a legal text finalised on the still disputed border issue as early as next month, and this is a legally binding text, you should say. If not, the EU will start to stall the Brexit trade and transition talks as a result. So that could be a real dispute coming down the line for the UK if we don't sort out where we are in terms of the customs union and the Northern Ireland border. Boris Johnson, as well, is due to give his big Brexit speech, pushing for a liberal Brexit next week. Apparently this has been penciled in. Senior ministers or senior allies to Boris Johnson have told some journalists. Only a few days ahead of the Prime Minister Theresa May's big speech. She's due to be making that at the Munich Security Conference again as early in a week's time or so. Okay, you can see there immediately the leadership rumours flying around over Theresa May's position within the party and Boris Johnson's aspirations there. Two big heavyweight cabinet ministers, both making very big speeches on Brexit within days of each other. Let's move on then to what is the other key story today, which is what's happening in the Conservative Party at the top end. Anyone but Mogg is a key line coming through this morning. Tory Remainers are desperately seeking an anyone but Mogg candidate for the leadership if Theresa May, the Prime Minister, were to either step down or be forced to step down by the Conservative Party. There's some seriously strong rumours now flying around that Theresa May is in a very, very vulnerable position indeed. So obviously the party is trying to prepare for the eventuality or possible eventuality. The Rees-Mogg has convened an emergency meeting with his European Research Group. This is the real group he chairs, very strong, powerful Brexit group, to talk tactics of the War Cabinet Committee meeting today and how they're going to respond to that. But there's a real problem in the Conservative Party around Jacob Rees-Mogg. Anna Soubry, who's a very, very senior backbench Conservative MP, has said she would quit the party if Rees-Mogg became Prime Minister or became leader of the party because he does not represent the party that she recognised and joined many years ago. Mogg has actually said, Jacob Rees-Mogg has actually said, because he has 6 kids, he doesn't actually think he'll have the time to be Prime Minister, doesn't want to be Prime Minister. He has, however, been on record saying that it seems as if Theresa May is not enjoying doing the job of Prime Minister, but she's obviously hit back saying she disputes that. But it does still indicate that Jacob Rees-Mogg possibly is a candidate for the future. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have yourself a fantastic start to your Wednesday.